Today, I'm going to show you a budget Microfreak jam setup. Freebeat. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Today's patron shout-out goes to P. Hulba. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. So this is the Arturia Microfreak. It, by itself, is an incredibly powerful, I'm going to go ahead and call it budget synthesizer. You can get it new for $349 US, or if you shop used, you can actually drop that price below $300. It's got a ton of different digital oscillator types, an analog filter, it's got an LFO, two envelopes, one of which can actually be used as a second LFO, a ridiculously deep digital patch bay. Seriously, you can modulate anything on here, and you can even modulate your modulations. But it also has a powerful arpeggiator and sequencer, not to mention the fact that it's 4-voice paraphonic. I have not been shy with my love for the Microfreak on this channel, but today I'm going to show you how for just around $100 US more, you can actually get a pretty powerful budget jam setup that gives you plenty of room to grow. And the way that we're going to do that is simply by bringing in a PO-32 Tonic. Now, of course, we established that the Microfreak is incredibly deep and, again, by itself probably gives you a lifetime of exploration. The PO-32 Tonic is pretty similar in that regard. Even though it's a pocket operator, this PO has the special feature to swap out the stock drum kit, either by creating your own sounds in the Microtonic VST, which does cost another $100 or so, or by downloading other users' kits, often for free, here online. I've actually got quite a few kit showcase videos here on the channel, and again, all of those are free to use. So you can always swap out these sounds for something new, thus giving it as much expandability, really, as the Microfreak. There's a couple other reasons I went with a pocket operator. First of all, this is only $99 US new, and if you shop used, you can get it for much less than that. Second is because it has a line in, meaning that with only one speaker or one pair of headphones, we can hear both of these devices, as I will show you in just a minute. The other nice thing about it being a pocket operator is that means both devices have sync in and out. On the Microfreak, it's called clock in and out. This means that we're going to be able to sync up the sequencers so we can jam quite easily. So there's a few things you're going to need for this setup. Two of them you probably already have. Those are just a pair of 1/8" or 3.5mm cables. That's all you need cable-wise. You're also going to need a 3.5mm TRS splitter. Not a headphone splitter, a TRS splitter. This is actually going to take a stereo signal and split it into left and right. This was like $5. I will link it in the description. So let's go ahead and get this setup going. Right now, the only cable I have plugged in is my audio out from the PO-32 Tonic. This is just going into my audio interface. This is where you would plug in either your headphones or your speaker. I'm going to be powering the Microfreak with USB Type-B, one of the cool things that it can do. I'm then going to take my splitter and plug it into the input of the pocket operator. I'm going to plug in one of my 3.5mm cables into the black end of my splitter, and I'm going to plug that into the clock out of the Microfreak. Then I'm going to take my other cable, plug that into the red end of my splitter, and plug that into the headphone out of the Microfreak. Now all we have to do is change the sync mode on our pocket operator so that the sequencer in the pocket operator is looking for its tempo from the Microfreak. The Microfreak will be the master here. We're going to hold accent and tap BPM until we get to SY4. We can give it a quick test now. Make sure sound is coming through. Awesome. So the first thing we want to do to get our jam going is come up with a drum pattern. So I'm going to use a very, very simple pattern. It's one that I use all the time here on the channel. I'm going to take the kick drum and put it on beats 1 and 3, the snare drum and put it on beats 2 and 4, And hi-hats are going to go on all of the eighth notes. So the downbeat of 1, 2, 3, and 4, as well as the and of 1, 2, 3, and 4. By the way, here at Freebeat, on pocket operators and other 16-step sequencers, we count it as 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and. So now you'll notice if we hit play on the pocket operator, nothing happens except the little play head flashes on the screen. That's good. That means it's waiting for tempo from an external piece of gear. So now we're going to turn our sequencer on the Microfreak. We're going to hold Shift and press the ARP/sequence button. And now if I hit play, we can hear our pattern starts. One thing to note, when you stop your pattern, you also need to stop it on the pocket operator and then rearm it for playback. Otherwise, it'll start right where it ended, which can be kind of awkward. So now that we've got the sequencers synced up, let's talk about how to jam on this setup. My favorite way to do it is to turn on paraphonic mode. Then I like to drop down a few octaves. Let's just go right there, and we're going to come up with a bass line. We're going to record a sequence into the sequencer with that bass line, then we're going to pop up a few octaves, and we can solo over the top of it. And we get 3 notes of, not polyphony technically, because everything shares the same filter and envelopes, but yep. So to record a sequence on our sequencer, we press the random/record button. Now we're ready to input up to 16 different steps. If you want a longer pattern, the way we do that is by turning off record, clicking on utility, going to preset, then scrolling down to sequence length. From here, we can set it to whatever we want. I'm going to set mine to 32 steps long. Press utility again to exit. Let's hit record and record our sequence in. So every key that we hit is going to add a new step to our sequence up until we hit 32. If you want to add a tie or a note extend basically into your sequence, you hold down the note that you want to extend and hit the tie/rest button, which is normally the hold button over here, for as many steps as you want. You can follow along on the screen. All right, let's make sure that our pocket operator is armed for playback and hit play. Nice. And then you're free, of course, to mess with the sound as much as you like. Let's go ahead and jam now. So I'm going to rearm the pocket operator, hit play, jump up a few octaves, let's go. I'm not really a keyboard player, I'm just faking it. Also, as you saw there, I was able to stop and start the sequencer on the pocket operator independently of the sequence going here. So you can really do some cool stuff like that. Like you saw, I dropped the cutoff there when there was no drums and then brought it back all in together. Of course, your punch-in effects work just fine too on the pocket operator. Yeah, a lot of fun stuff you can do. Also, I should mention you can record chords into the sequencer as well when you do have record mode on. Just play multiple notes at the same time. However, there is another trick that the Microfreak sequencer has up its sleeve. If you see this button lit up right here, it says A in the bottom right-hand corner. This button right here says B in the bottom right-hand corner. We actually have 2 different patterns per sequencer, per preset that we can record and assign and work with. So I'm going to click on that right now. Now let's go ahead and click record again and record a whole different sequence. By the way, if you mess up recording your sequence, just click record, turn it back on. There you go. If you want to put in a rest, by the way, just hit the rest button without holding a note down. All right, I'm not really sure what I recorded. Let's have a listen. Here we go. That's cool. Now, if we want to switch between those 2 sequences, it's literally as easy as hitting the button that corresponds to it. Yeah, so obviously I'm just barely scratching the surface here of what this setup is capable of. We have 16 more patterns we can work with on the Pocket Operator. You can actually copy a preset on the Microfreak and use that new copied preset to come up with 2 more patterns and just repeat that basically as much as you want. There is a ton of potential here. We didn't touch on any sound design stuff. And of course, on the Pocket Operator, we just used 3 of the 16 stock sounds, let alone getting into what other people have come up with. And then sometimes you accidentally bump the surge protector with your foot and unplug the Microfreak's USB power supply and shut the jam down. So be sure you don't do that. Despite that, though, hopefully I've shown you that this is a very powerful setup. Again, just barely scratching the surface in this video. Something you can easily set up in a few minutes and have a jam with. Something you can practice your scales with over a drum set instead of just a metronome. You've got 4 notes of paraphonic voices to work with, of course, or you can do what I did at the end there and turn off paraphonic mode. You can even hold shift and press paraphonic to turn on unison mode. We only checked out 2 of our digital oscillator types, by the way, which there are a ton of. Just a fantastic setup and one that I actually use off camera all the time. I do hope that you found this video informative or at least entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. New content every single day. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.